All right. Good morning, everybody. Floors over there, temperature 78.5 coming out of the floor. It's saturated. Man, does it feel better in here. It never got below 70, but from what it was, I mean, I was whining about how warm it was. I ain't never going to whine about how warm it is in here. I'll just open up a door or a window or whatever. I enjoyed that, or I didn't enjoy the I did sleep better, but I didn't enjoy the cool. It started like the same range anxiety with the battery. I don't like that feeling. Probably I would if the coils were deeper into the floor. This would really work for like a off-grid home or something like that, or not off-grid, like a Earthship kind of thing. It would work extremely well and go in that kind of design. We did get in some firewood. I hope it's bright enough to see. Yep, right over there. If I go much farther, it makes it dark is what I'm trying to get at. I laid, that's deliberately, those like are over the top of where the valves are to control the floor, and and it deflects, and so it distributes if the piece of wood falls off. That's all. It's just for safety, or redundancy or whatever you want to call it. Eventually, this stovepipe will be right here and go through the wall, ish, somewhere in that range, right about there. And this will be open if I ever build another room to the back of the house. That's the way it was designed, like a garage or a whatever, you know what I mean, like a family room kind of thing. That was the way, but it never got done. Just got paralyzed instead, you know what I mean? That shit happens. So you just got to roll with it. Yeah, see, that's what I'm saying. It backs up. It screws it up. And I didn't have like a flashlight or nothing on it. Just the change in the camera focal point. Speaking of rolling with the punches, uh, I found that the ground chuck, or not ground chuck, chuck roast is cheaper than the hamburger nowadays. It used to never be, or it didn't seem like it was, but maybe it was. I mean, maybe I wasn't observant, is what I'm trying to get at. But I'm just saying, I like the chuck roast better anyway, and that was some good chuck roast too, like good marble is what I'm trying to get at. I just took it and cut it into like three pieces. Me personally, I could never eat a whole roast by myself without like all the rest of it going bad in time. I just couldn't eat enough. So, but only because I like eating too much other crap, junk food and crap. Don't think I'm like some healthy nut that just eats a little bit. I no, that's not true. I don't want to. I don't want to like lead you down the wrong path. Is all. Yeah. The the floor is doing really good. That extra little bit of warmth is really good. We did get a reprieve in the wind and the dry out here. It's going to rain, snow kind of thing today. Yesterday or day before, it rained just a tiny bit, got it a little bit damp. We got the trash taken care of. That's the only thing bad out here. You can do it two ways. You can come out like a East Coast cowboy, and lighting everything on fire and not giving a shit what you burn down. Or you can be a human being and not a prick. And, like, yeah, it sucks to save up your trash for a day that it's not windy, but don't burn down the desert. You know, don't wreck somebody else's life just because you're stupid. That's all I'm asking. And that's anywhere in the desert, y'all. Don't light matches and just think it's cool, because it's not. It's Can you do a little fire? Yeah, you can. But can the wind make a little fire get way the fuck out of control faster than you can blink your eyes if you're not paying attention? Oh yeah. That All I'm saying is, if you're going to light a fire, watch that mother like a hawk. I mean, like a physical, watch it like a hawk. If it gets windy, Put it down. If you can't put it down, don't strike the match to begin with. Just just word to the wise, y'all. Is there a lot of people that do that? Yeah, that's kind of why the public service announcement. Yeah, a lot of people do that. And the fines are pretty high from what I've been told. The If it's by accident, like let's say you come home and you had a wheel bearing or whatever, and it started a grass fire, but they can route it back to whatever, and it was a legitimate, not it was a legitimate accident kind of event. That's one thing, and yeah, you'll pay for the truck to come out and the people to do whatever they do. That's just normal, I mean, but if you strike a match, there's like money involved with that. If they got to bring the crews out, or if they have to use that helicopter, you're going to pay for that. That's not public welfare, is what I'm trying. No, there's none of that out here, from what I've been told. I've never. I can learn by other people's mistakes really, really well. Is what I'm trying to get at. I don't have to prove it for myself. Is what I'm trying to get at. Exactly how painful you can make life is what I'm trying to say. Well, back to the thing. We gotta clean out the ash pan. Probably do that today. Um, I dumped out the pan from last year that was full. Yesterday is what I'm trying to get at. So it's ready to do it today. Um, I just never got all that involved with this year. Only because the floors were coming along. The solar was my big project. The racks out back and jazz like that. But we'll get this hooked up. Maybe today, maybe tomorrow. We got a week. In my 3-degree day went down to 2 degrees. And the next day is like 13 degrees as a high and -9 as a low. So we will probably be seeing service in this little jujube here real quick. It's going to happen like fairly soon. Um, and I might even make a little like a just to set some heat in the concrete. You know what? How do you like a kindling fire is what I'm trying to get at. I might do that just to fire it up. Because right now it's cold, is what I'm trying to say. It's 70 degree. It's no warmer than that, is what I'm trying to get at. And but get a little bit of heat set into it. I got a bag of sand to refill for the top. I robbed about a bag of sand when I put it in here. That's what was in the buckets. It's about the bag's worth. We got a little bit of time on that. It's actually, I bet you, more than like 70 degrees. I don't know what it is actually. Not plugged it in yet this morning. If I don't need the extra heat, in which I have never really done it, I've never really needed the extra heat. I don't plug it in the morning unless I'm showing, what is it saying? 89 degrees. So it's still holding a pretty good core temperature. And it wasn't on for very long. It was just sucking up a little bit of the excess yesterday is what I'm trying to get at. That got a pretty good dose, enough to get the floors up to almost 80 is what I'm trying to get at. The floor temperature is probably 75-ish. I'm going to say 74. It doesn't feel any colder or any warmer than that. Oh, yeah, 76, 76.6. So, yeah, I guess it is a little bit warmer than that. But, yeah, but I'm just saying it's just back to being warm, like a summer day. At negative whatever I just said, 13 in the day and -9 for the night. It will not be like a summer day. I can tell. And the more clouds that we get, the more that the cold will crush back on the system. And you can feel it because it's not a lot of. It comes down to BTU. I mean BTU and how many watts you can pack into that little dude. That hot water can only do 2,000 at a time, and only when it's sunny. This big bad lad over here, it can roar like a jet engine if needed be. It can get hot enough to make stainless steel turn cherry red. So it can do its job, is what I'm trying to get at, and that's what it's for. Hopefully, this whole little experiment, one, I got to use the excess solar instead of just wasting it, instead of shunting it, is what I'm trying to get at. It keeps the batteries full. That's never let me down, is what I'm trying to get at. So far, is what they're not all that old, but it's working, is what I'm trying to say, y'all. And it's cut down on the firewood. Now I'm kind of wanting to see how much I actually use through the winter. The next 90 days is winter. This is technically still fall until like the 21st of December or something like that. Whatever it is, I don't know. It's coming up. And the wood that I brought in over here is 1/3 of a rick, just shy of it, but more than a fourth is what I'm saying. It's more than a fourth. It's just right at 3 feet by 4 feet. And when I say just at, I mean it's like 34 inches by 44 inches or 46 inches or something. It's not quite a third, you know what I mean? But it's more than a fourth, is what I'm trying to get at. And Normally I got the whole wall behind me over here that I fill up with firewood, but it is not, is what I'm trying to get at. That whole section is I bring in a whole rick, 4 feet by 8 feet, and I've not done that. I don't think I'm going to need it, is what I'm trying to get at. I'll see when we get the first -9-degree night, and I'll know exactly. You know, I might even put the cleats in the plastic and seal that off, is what I'm trying to get at, if it's real windy. Yeah, that's not even sealed. There's so much that's not sealed up yet because the floor has just been excessively warm. It'd take me a few minutes to button everything down, but, you know, it's not buttoned, is what I'm trying to get at. I still leave the door open at night for well into the night, is what I'm trying to get at. Probably 9 o'clock, just to let the heat out of the house, because it's more than you can deal with, is what I'm trying to get at, or more than I can deal with. And once it gets down to where I can handle it, I shut the doors. But that's my only way to get rid of the heat, is just leave the doors open, or the hole for where the elevator goes upstairs. Yeah, that works really well. That sucks it out. 'Cause especially like on that cold, it'll start working much better, because on the cold days when it's like frigid cold, even in the daytime, like that 13-degree day, it'll allow cold air to dump down that elevator shaft, and then the hot air will pump up, and it works perfectly. The upstairs stays, you know, not frozen or whatever, and the downstairs stays comfortable. That's the only way that you can deal with the heat from this. That's just over the top excessive. But it's burning the carbon monoxide, y'all. It burns pretty warm, clean, efficiently. It burns pretty efficiently clean. Only stainless steel, though. You can't. Don't make something like that out of mild steel. It'll crystallize the steel. Don't do that. Bad. Not even as a joke. Don't do that. It's like putting a turbo. It's like putting a turbo on a wood stove. You know, there's some things you just don't do. You know, just don't do that. Yeah, it's all good. Well, we're doing good. This is only a couple minutes work, and I mean, if I had something to hold the camera, I could probably do it in the next couple minutes that we have left on the video. So we're there. I've just been holding off because I don't want to like give in. You know, I want this to work better like magic, but it can't. I'm just telling you right now. It is what I saw in 7 days of those clouds, how the heat started out like 76 degrees at the bottom of that well. And by the time the 7 days were up, it was like 69 degrees at the well, down in the well that's over here. Um, yeah, but that was like 3 days of not being able to heat the floor. Um, any amount of not being able to heat the floor when it's -9 or 13 degrees in the daytime, um, that's going to make a huge difference. You're going to see my report on this change dramatically about December 1st. Uh, it just looks like December's coming in with like a lion. We're leaving out November like a lamb, all 40 degrees and 30, 20s at night and all nice. And boy, first couple days of December just coming in like it's slapping us down. But it'll be okay. Mountain got a little bit of snow. Hopefully, if I can catch it, is I'll take that snapshot and use it as the thumbnail for the video. It's changing. It's beautiful out there. But just the dust. Don't like think that it's going to look like the bush can because it's not that yet. But it'll get there hopefully this year. Last time the weather patterns were like this, it like I forewarned for y'all or foreshadowed for y'all to get a little ice cleat action going on for them strap-on ice cleats for your shoe. Anybody around here needs to get a pair of the cheap snowshoes so you can walk on about a couple 100 inches of powdered snow. Because where it can snow, it'll be much more snow than like previous years. Is what it's looking like. Is what the patterns are looking like. But we'll see when it comes. Is what I'm trying to get at. When the moisture comes. Right now we're just getting very small amounts. The little bit that we're going to get today is just a dusting, just enough to keep the dust down. Not in here, obviously, but out there. The only reason, if y'all did wonder why I don't sweep the floor, is if you look at the mechanics of sweeping in a wheelchair, either you got to flip the dirt that way and it gets all over everything, or you got to drag it towards you, which you're like the cartoon of the character Pigpen in that big cloud of dust. And like me, my sinuses are not bad. My ex-wife, she had horrid sinuses. She stayed sick all the time. Mine are just overactive. When it's dusty or pollen or whatever, then I get the thumpy nose talking. And that's just the way it is for me until that is gone. And in the dust, just that little bit. Y'all think that's funny, right? Okay. The dirt that this thing can haul in just a little bit at a time. I just did the trash, so y'all know that's the trash bag that's over here. That's actually the pile of dirt that this thing hauls in. I sweep this shit. It's not like I don't sweep it. I just can't sweep it good enough to make the talc go away without the vacuum. But yeah, this is swept, and this is how much it. Even on a damp day where the sand gets in the tires, it brings in this much, and it's been swept. But it's more is what I'm trying to get at. Until you got to get the flat shovel in a 5-gallon bucket, scoop that shit up, and haul it back outside. That's how much this machine thing. I have to have it. It's not like a baby. Without it, I could never live where I live. I'm not Superman. I'm not immortal. I'm not none of those things. But yeah, I would love to make my own version of this, I guess is what you would call it. Same concept, but I would like to have tires that had articulation to it. I mean, where they could move and bigger, like a dirt bike size tire, electric and all. Still electric. That's the only way I wouldn't want something gas powered. They're just loud. Since that second truck wreck, I can't handle like lawnmowers, generator, that little rattly motor sound. Oh, it kills my head. but I would like it to be like tall motorcycle type electric tires, more independent, so it would travel is what I'm trying to get at. This is good. It'll climb like a little bull, I mean, like a little bear or whatever you want to call it. But it's real rigid. So if it's not fairly smooth, it'll tilt. It'll like dump. Otherwise, more than capable for getting you around flat ground. Golly, I can't. I couldn't live here without that chair. Several years old, probably 6 years old. Third set of batteries. Lead acid this year, or this time when it changes, I'm going to put lithium. I'm going to build a lithium pack for it, 24 volt. That'll make it much, much better. I'd like to find a joystick controller set up for this, to have it on hand, like on the shelf, just in case it dies. It's getting old. I could never afford a new one. That's $25,000-$30,000 now. So, but that's without it, you don't have life out here in the desert. Not crippled. If you walk, you really don't get how easy your life is. So when you start whining about your life the way it is, and you can still walk, oh please, it could get so much worse. I don't know why it's. Oh, there it is. Okay, that's why it's doing it, because it just couldn't figure it out. It just kept getting blurrier and blurrier. But if you stuck through all that blurriness, you're a trooper. I'm gonna let it go at this, y'all. And well, I hope you all have a good day. I hope you all have a good day. And for all the people doing the resistance protest in Washington D.C., God bless you. You're my hero. I wish I was there. And for everybody else, we got to get the billionaires to pay their taxes. That's all that's to it. They got to pay their fair share. And when you make that much money, what's it to you? Except for the fact that you're a greedy little bitch that has a mental illness. Other than that, I don't get it. So, okay, guys, we're going to cut it, and we're going to go from there. And like I said, we're going to get this done. We got the wood in a little bit, enough to make it through several fires or whatever. Because it really doesn't burn that much. If that was a log, it wouldn't burn one stick that big all day in a 24-hour period. So it really doesn't burn that much. We're just going to get a better test on how little or less we get to use it, is what I'm trying to get at. When it gets down to that, 13 and 9 thing, and negative 9. Not just 9, negative 9. Yeah, that'll be a test for this. Then we'll know exactly how much the meter will move. Right now the meter barely moves. The meter will move at negative 9. All right, y'all have a big day. And I hope you all have fun. Be safe. And if not, be Western about it. Go full out. All right. Talk to you then. Bye.